April offers us a second chance in love as the solar eclipse in Aries conjoins Mercury retrograde. We prioritize passion and conquest as Venus enters Aries, and the once in 13 years conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus brings major breakthroughs and rapid developments in love and life. Let's take a closer look at April and talk about love horoscopes for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you enjoy my content, please take a second to show your support by leaving a like or a comment, subscribing, and pressing the notification bell. You also have the option of saying thank you by buying me a coffee. I really appreciate that. And even a simple gesture like leaving a like helps my content be pushed in front of more people, helps my channel grow. So I really, really thank you guys for that. Before we dive in, if you have important questions, if you want to know what 2024 has in store for you, if you have a birthday coming up or you want to treat a friend to a reading with me, you can book one on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. On my website, you can also find a variety of my creations. I work very closely with astrology and try to make it practical, right? It's good to know what's coming up, but it's even better to know how to prepare and how to help yourself navigate more challenging days and months or circumstances. I'd like to highlight my Venus in Pisces candle. This is my latest creation. It smells like ocean, has a very refreshing scent, and it's decorated with aquamarine stones, which are the stones connected to Venus, and it's green, which is the color of Venus. This is perfect for anyone struggling in love, anyone who's feeling the lack of balance, some kind of discord in their relationships, because Venus in Pisces is very peaceful, very romantic, very all-forgiving energy, right? And it's especially great for anyone who is born with Venus in more challenging positions, such as Aries, Scorpio, or Virgo, if your Venus is in a dark house, 6th, 8th, or 12th natally, and if it's making difficult aspects like a square or an opposition to Saturn, Mars, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto. Especially extra lovely for people who already have their natal Venus in earth or water signs. You can check out my website and find Venus in Libra candles. There's the second edition and the first edition. The second one smells like honeysuckle jasmine and the first one smells like rose. Both highlight Venus in Libra, Venus in the sign of rulership, and these would be better for people who have either their ascendant in fire or air or their natal Venus in fire or air. For example, I'm a Libra rising, so I go with this one even though my Venus is in an earthy Virgo. But this one is just like Venus in Libra has been a life savior for a while, just sort of very chill, very calming. So thank you for listening for that, to that. Before we dive in, there's a few zodiac signs that I think will have the most exciting month of April and has more sort of romantic goodness coming up for them. And those are Aries, Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, Sag, and Capricorn. And everybody else will have romantic opportunities. A lot will depend on your natal chart. And if you ever want to know, once again, what's going on in your natal chart, you can book a reading with me or you can purchase a subscription. I do monthly horoscope subscription where at the start of the month, I send you a written breakdown of what's coming up for you personally and talk about important dates. And that one will be a lot more specific to you. So in April, we have a few big areas of activation. We have at the start of the month, Venus is in Pisces. She's still exalted, but 5 days in, she leaves and goes in the sign of Aries. So on the 5th of April, Venus is entering Aries, which is the sign of her detriment. And that doesn't mean that love automatically becomes like a mess, but Venus in Aries prioritizes conquest, prioritizes chase. It likes partners that are maybe creating a little bit of drama or partners that are harder to catch, right? So there's a danger here that we might be a bit more restless in relationships, a bit faster, sort of like play fast and loose, maybe give up on partnerships too soon or choose wrong partners just because they spark our interest, right? So you gotta be mindful. Once again, if you're born with this placement, highly, highly recommend Venus in Libra or Venus in Libra too. Venus in Libra is almost sold out. But before then, you know, on April 3rd, we have Venus conjoining Neptune. So I'm gonna do like a quick rundown of the astrology of the month, and then we'll talk about each sign. So early in the month, the first 5 days, April 3rd, Venus is in the sign of exaltation. On the 3rd, she's conjoining Neptune, and the energy is beautiful, romantic, sensual. You may feel like a more soulful connection with your partner. But then on the 5th of April, and then until April 29th, she will be in Aries, which is a lot more restless, independent, a little bit combative, a little bit sort of competitive. And competition can be beautiful, but it can also be unhealthy when you're trying to win over, like, you know, you're not being a unit in a relationship, but instead you're trying to, like, I don't know, compete with your partner and be the right one all the time, or be the luckiest all the time. So you gotta beware of that. We definitely have a lot of action in Aries. Mercury is also retrograde, which will, for some, bring exes back into your life, may suggest miscommunications in relationships, and also a need for really, really raw honesty and directness. But at the same time, of course, you got to be careful that you're not just saying things that will hurt other people. On the 6th of April, Venus will sextile Pluto, which for some could suggest passionate encounters, exciting new developments, new romance, a little bit of like an obsessive quality, which could be great. If it's a mutual obsession, maybe not so good if it's obsession with someone who's not good for you. On the 8th of April, we get the solar eclipse in Aries. This eclipse in general will highlight the stronger need for independence. Aries energy, even though Venus struggles in Aries, it's still really great for encouraging independence, for appreciating that you can be happy on your own, right? You don't always need somebody else to approve of you, be that in your relationships or in your career. It's a very sort of powerful female energy. And so I think the fact that the eclipse is literally Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, everything is in Aries, is a very powerful opportunity to take a step back and focus on yourself and heal yourself. Chiron is also there. And perhaps, you know, figure out what is it that you want, what is it that makes you happy, so that you can be a better partner and a better friend, a better family member. On the 19th of April, Mercury conjoins Venus. So I think if there has been difficulties early in the month, and they're more likely to be early in the month in relationships, things will sort of smooth over and soften. Closer to April 19th, the Sun is also entering Taurus by then, and we get the Jupiter Uranus conjunction on April 20th. Especially beautiful for my Capricorn risings and Scorpio risings, since we are talking about love. For Capricorn, this is happening in the house of sex, pleasure, romance. For Scorpio risings, it's literally happening in the house of significant partnerships and relationships. So this could bring really rapid developments, really exciting opportunities to grow personally and in relationships. You know, like a pregnancy, Jupiter is in Taurus, it's very fertile. Maybe a really fast development, like an engagement that you didn't expect to come so soon, or a chance to move in together if you're an Aquarius rising potentially. Or for anybody else, right? It can also bring, like for Scorpio risings, for example, it could bring happy developments in the life of the partner, some kind of opportunity. Same actually for Libra risings, where the life of the partner is changing and you're changing with them. On the 23rd of April, we have the full moon in Scorpio. This full moon is squaring Pluto, so it could suggest some kind of crisis in a relationship, personal crisis that then encourages a change, a release, a transformation. I like that the ruler is Mars conjoining Neptune in Pisces, so you do get this energy of forgiveness and compassion and understanding, which is beautiful. What not to like? On April 29th, Venus enters the sign of rulership, Taurus, and our romantic lives get a boost. They get an upgrade of sorts because Venus in Taurus is very happy. It's one of her domiciles, one of her home signs. She stays here until May 23rd. She will be hanging out with Jupiter the entire time. So lots of, I think, like, we basically, April to me reads as like there's a need to shake things up so that you can find peace. And so Venus being in Taurus offers us the opportunity for peace. It brings more focus on long-term relationships, more focus on stability, better powers to attract, and just sort of, you know, a lot of focus on like taking things slow, enjoying life, savoring the moment. So very beautiful, beautiful energy. And on the 30th of April, Mars enters Aries. So we still get a little bit of that passionate, fiery, conquest-oriented energy with Mars and Aries. It's sexually, we may experience it as a lot faster decision making, right? Venus and Taurus, Mars and Aries are a bit contradictory with one another. So you may see Aries energy showing up maybe if you're single and you're dating around, but Venus and Taurus could come about when you're making commitments and making serious decisions. Mars and Aries also sexually tend to be the period when we're more open to experimentation, we're maybe faster, we're more open to like quickies and stuff like that. So this is the quick look at the month, and let's take a look at the 12 rising signs. If you ever want to know more, if you want a personal horoscope for April, book a reading with me or become a subscriber on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, and receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. So if you are an Aries rising, you are Aries, you're ruled by Mars, your 7th house is Libra, ruled by Venus. So we just had a lunar eclipse in your 7th house on March 25th. What has happened in your life? If you're single, maybe that was the time when you completed some kind of potential relationship, if you maybe like closed the chapter or you revisited and thought about your needs in relationships, your desires, and perhaps felt ready for a new chapter, because it's a very sort of like cleansing eclipse. It's an opportunity to release the old and open space for something new. So maybe examining your preferences, examining your desires romantically. If you were in a relationship, the eclipse on March 25th could have brought really big developments, like a commitment or engagement. Maybe you got married around this time. Maybe you started dating somebody. So let me know down below what was happening in your life on March 25th, or just even right now, because we are right in the eclipse season. And so we're dealing very much with the opposition between Libra and Aries. I think in general, you are in this stage in life when you're getting ready to end a chapter and start a new one. And so for some of you, I think this eclipse could be about focusing, or like this month in general could be about focusing on yourself and getting very much in touch with yourself. And for others, perhaps the chapter that you're closing is the singlehood and moving into being committed, being in a relationship. So early in the month until April 5th, Venus is in Pisces. So it's your 12th house. It could suggest that until April 5th, your partner is somehow busy, maybe working on something. Maybe they're like spiritually involved. Maybe they're just being a lot more introspective or dealing with their mental health. If you're single, there are beautiful opportunities to meet someone in a 12th house environment. So at a yoga class, in a foreign land, at a hospital, in like a spiritual setting of sorts, right? Maybe you're doing like a therapy-oriented session with someone and it's like a group session and you meet them there. So like meeting partners and partners in general are connected to this area of like mental health, spirituality, healing. I really like April 3rd because Venus conjoins Neptune. And this could be an opportunity to either meet someone or have a beautiful romantic evening behind the scenes. Also, I think with Venus in your 12th house, you are in this, once again, period of sort of like cleansing, completing, releasing, whether it's old patterns so that your existing relationship can get better, or it's an old relationship you're releasing. That is up to you, up to each individual Aries rising, but yeah, like definitely some kind of like completion, especially because Mars, your chart ruler, is in Pisces until April 30th. So most of April, you are still doing this like introspective, important work. You're asking important questions. You're becoming more aware of what you want. You're getting deep dreams, right? Like you're getting messages through pulling tarot cards, you're getting messages through your intuition, through seeing numbers outside on the street. So you are very much in this place of like closing one chapter so that the new you can be born. Between April 5th and April 29th, Venus is in Aries, your first house, and Venus rules your house of relationships. So this could be the time when the partner comes to you. For singles, this is great because it suggests that while taking care of you, while taking care of your fitness, while doing your things, being yourself out and about, you're more likely between April 5th and April 29th to be approached. You don't have to go out of your way to sort of create opportunities. The relationship ruler is in your face, in your house. For those in relationships already, this could just be the period where your partner is a lot more codependent, a lot more sort of interested in what you're doing and more interested in spending time with you and just connecting deeper. So quite exciting. I think on April 8th, we get the solar eclipse in your first house. It conjoins Chiron, conjoins Mercury, and has a very healing energy. It could be the time when you are once again very sort of focused on taking care of yourself and becoming more clear about what you desire, becoming more clear about who you desire and how you want to change your life in order to attract better relationships. Because you're very much in this period in April, Mercury's retrograding in your first house between the 1st and the 25th. When you are making adjustments to you, you are very focused on yourself, and you need to be, because in order to bring somebody into your life who is exactly as you desire, you maybe need to make space for that person, or you need to level up on some level, right? Like, yeah, like let's say you're seeking someone who is like very active and they like to hike, but you get winded when you go hiking. So perhaps it's your opportunity to go hiking and explore nature and sort of get yourself, date yourself, right? That is another definitely manifestation of Venus and Aries. Yes, it could suggest that you're meeting this perfect partner, you're spending more time with your existing partner, but it could also be your time to date yourself and to get reacquainted and to fall in love with yourself, because once you do, the universe reflects that back to you. On April 29th, so at the end of the month, Venus will enter Taurus, so between April 29th, May 23rd, which suggests that either your partner is becoming very financially oriented, maybe they're working on their business and paying off their debts or making investments. It could also suggest that at this point, you're more likely to meet the potential love interest through the financial dealings. Like they could be your accountant, you can meet them at the bank, you can meet them paying bills, you can meet them figuring out your like mortgage, talking to a financial advisor, like either they are this person or you meet them through doing that. And your chart ruler on April 30th until June 9th will be in the first house. So I think at the end of April, you're going to start a bit more, to feel a bit more refreshed, a bit more ready for action, and a bit more like yourself, versus the period with Mercury retrograde for sure, and the eclipses. It's just everything feels uncertain. I think you're still figuring out who you want to be, where you want to go, etc. But the end of the month is like things clear. And if you want to know more, become a subscriber on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, to receive monthly horoscopes. You can also book a reading where we will go deeply within your chart and talk about your natal promise, your challenges, your gifts, your career, your love life, whatever you want to know. I will do my best to answer. Moving on to the Taurus rising. If you are a Taurus rising, you are very much Venusian, Venus ruled. Your partner is Martial because your 7th house is Scorpio. So early in the month, Venus, you, until April 5th, you're in the 11th house, which suggests that you are very busy socially. There may be more opportunities to date someone who is your friend. Mars is also here the entire month. So if Mars is your partner, between March 22nd and April 30th, Mars, the partner, is in the 11th house. For singles, this is the time to go out with your friends. This is the time to expand your network. to find people maybe who are aligned with what you desire, right? People who have similar interests, like maybe it's a scuba diving club or a hiking club, and you go there because this is what you like to do. You expand your community, you take action, and the partner is there. For people in relationships, there could be the time when you are busier, kind of going out more. Maybe you're making plans, starting new projects with your partner, kind of like following dreams together. It could also be the time when your partner is busy, maybe socially, maybe they're like very engaged and constantly going out and you're coming out with them. I like April 3rd because Venus, you will conjoin Neptune in the 11th house, and this could feel very beautiful, very romantic, a really good time to go on like a double date with a friend or to hang out with friends and connect with friends. Venus does enter Aries, so your chart ruler goes into the 12th house between April 5th and April 29th. And you're becoming very introspective. The entire Aries season, right, with Mercury being retrograde between April 1st and 25th, and the solar eclipse being in Aries in your 12th house, there's a lot of focus on your private life, on your inner life, and a lot of opportunities to cleanse and release and let go and make amends and befriend yourself, become a better ally to yourself. So if you are in a relationship, this could be the time when certain dramas come out and certain tensions come out, and maybe you realize that there's a self-defeating tendency, like you think negative thoughts and then they come true. You doubt your partners and then they end up creating situations in which they kind of confirm your doubts and suspicions, right? So very Venus in the 12th house is your chance to be very clear and self-aware with what you do and how your subconscious affects your reality. So if you are in a relationship, like I said, this could be a period of a little bit more of like introspection and trying to understand yourself better. The eclipse on the 8th of April can be very healing. If you're single, Venus in Aries in your 12th house between April 5th and 29th could bring you opportunities to go to like a spiritual retreat, to go to a yoga retreat, to go to some kind of spiritual place, healing place, even imaginative group, maybe like a writing class or something. And you can meet a partner through those places that are somehow remote, isolated, that are somehow connected to other realms, spirituality, imagination. You can meet them while traveling as well. All while, like I said, Mars is in Pisces until April 30th. So Mars, the ruler of the house of partnerships, is in the house of friendships and community. So the more you do things that feel aligned with who you are, the more you connect with people who are on the same page and build your community and connect with new people, the more likely you're also to find someone there. Jupiter conjoins Uranus on April 20th in your first house. So you are getting ready to present a different version of yourself to the world. And in the process, your relationships will change. Jupiter and Uranus in the first house suggests big transformations to your image, to your brand, to your body, to your health, to your goals. You can become pregnant. You can be starting a business that maybe is connected to using your body. You can be becoming a teacher. You can be starting a job that encourages a lot of travel. And then on the 23rd of April, we get the full moon in your house of relationships, right? And so the full moon in the house of relationships is a completion of the chapter started on November 13th. And it's some kind of change when it comes to relationships. And I think it's very, very much connected to the personal transformation you're going through. Because with these new opportunities and this new version of yourself, you may need to change the way you date. You may need to have a different dynamic in your relationship, right? Maybe it's the time to do long distance because you're going to be traveling, or maybe it's the time to end the relationship if you feel like it's not right for you. And if you are single, this could also just be the time of like deep realizations as far as what you want and what you don't want, and perhaps opportunities to clear the clutter and get rid of debris as you move towards new beginnings. I quite like the fact that Venus enters Taurus, your first house. Your chart ruler is coming home on April 29th, and until May 23rd, she will bless you with more charm. And then on April 30th, Mars, the ruler of the house of marriage, is also entering Aries, your 12th house. So even more opportunities between April 30th and June 9th to meet your significant other via traveling, in spiritual places, in foreign lands. Maybe they're actually going to a foreign land and you will be meeting them because you're traveling to see them, or you're meeting them while you're exploring your spirituality and working on yourself. And if you want to know more, book a reading with me or become a subscriber on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can receive monthly horoscopes written down, broken up by personal transits, giving you advice and helping you navigate the month and do better in life. Next, we have Gemini rising. If you are a Gemini rising, on March 25th, we just had the lunar eclipse in Libra. This was your fifth house eclipse. So fifth house represents pleasure, represents desires, represents love and sex and children. So the eclipse on March 25th could have brought attention to what you desire romantically, could have given you a chance to maybe become more clear what works for you, what doesn't work, maybe have important relationship conversations, right? And either let go of a relationship or commit to it and figure out how you can be more honest and how you can work on things and on the relationship. Let me know how it went. Obviously, if you're single, it could be a lot more about pleasure, maybe about just overall things that you desire in life. It could also be about bad habits, but we're talking about love. So we're going to focus on love, right? Like, has it been an important few months romantically? Has the eclipse in Libra, the solar eclipse in October 2023, did it bring someone new into your life? And did the eclipse on March 25th maybe continue that storyline? So in general, as a Gemini rising, you are Mercury, your partner is Jupiter. And Jupiter, the ruler of your 7th house, is in Taurus, which is your 12th house, until May 25th. So we've talked about that in the previous videos. In general, this is a suggestion that your partner right now is somehow distant. They're somehow removed, they're somehow hidden away. So they might be, you're actually coming towards them after May 15th when your chart ruler Mercury is going into the 12th house. So you're getting closer and closer to them, to potentially meeting them if you're single. But if you're in a relationship, it could suggest that your partner is right now traveling. They're somewhere in a faraway place. Maybe they're healing themselves, they're on a spiritual retreat, or they are healing other people. Maybe they're in Africa building houses or doing some kind of volunteer work. So if they're far away, maybe you haven't met them yet, or maybe you're doing long distance temporarily. You, as a Mercury, is in Aries the entire month of April, and your chart ruler is retrograde in the 11th house. So I feel like it may be not the most romantic month, at least in the beginning, maybe not the first kind of 20 days, because Mercury retrograding in the 11th is suggesting that a lot of your focus is right now on friendships. It may be on your hopes and dreams, your desires for the future, your goals in life, right? So you're either kind of dealing with some friendship drama, or you're working towards your ideal career or your ideal job, or you're sort of retracing your steps and figuring things out. And this is between April 1st and April 25th. Venus is also in Aries, your 11th house, between April 5th and April 29th. So the planet of love is in the house of friendships. Until April 5th, she's in the house of career. So you can be dating someone you work with, or you can be meeting the person that you like at your job. But between April 5th and April 29th, Venus is in the 11th house, which also puts a lot of your focus, a lot of your attention on friendships, dreams, social media, community, building your community. Venus is connected to love. So around this time, as a single person, you're more likely to turn a friendship into a relationship, to become more romantically involved with someone in your network, someone who is maybe the same age, someone who has similar interests. If you're in a relationship, it could also suggest that there's more like social engagements that you and your partner are going to. I love April 20th. Jupiter, the ruler of your 7th house, will conjoin Uranus in Taurus in the 12th house. So if you are traveling around this time, if you are getting involved in spiritual matters, right? Because Jupiter rules the house of relationships, the conjunction with Uranus can be very significant for someone either entering your life through spiritual means, or your partner's life changing dramatically, or they're just like opening some kind of interest, some kind of possibility, some kind of like esoteric, spiritual, altruistic, volunteering type agenda in your life. Something new is coming in your life, some like a new, like I said, like a new interest that you're exploring and that you're meeting people through. So I would encourage you to work on yourself, to work on building yourself and being confident within yourself, and exploring your mental health and investing into your future, and then trusting that the partner will come. Especially, like I've said in the previous videos, the fact that the ruler of your 7th house is Jupiter, moving towards your 1st house, and on May 25th, it's going to go in your 1st house. It just suggests that the partner is getting closer and closer, whether you are in a relationship or you are single. Even if they're like overwhelmed and occupied somehow, they will very much soon be right next to you, right in your face. Between April 29th and May 23rd, Venus will also be in Taurus, your 12th house. So once again, your relationship is shifting behind the closed doors. There's more opportunities to meet someone foreign, to meet someone through spirituality, to meet someone in a faraway place. And if you want to know more, if you want me to look at your natal chart, book a reading with me on my website, anastasia.astrology.com. You can also become a subscriber to get monthly horoscopes emailed to you at the start of every month, or you can get a VIP subscription to get a face-to-face conversation with me every month. Moving on to the beautiful Cancer rising. So if you are a Cancer rising, you are the moon. Your partner is Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of your 7th house, as the 7th house Capricorn rising, and it's in the 9th house all year. So as I mentioned in the previous videos, either your partner is right now traveling, they're in the foreign land, they're working, they're studying, they're kind of committed to improving their knowledge somehow. Maybe they're writing their dissertation, maybe they are dealing with some legal matters. If you're single, it can also suggest that your partner may be coming to you through education, like they're working in education, or they're your teacher, they're your classmate. They can be coming to you through travel. Potentially it's some kind of like work travel, serious travel, and they can potentially be foreign, right? Or someone well-educated, broad-minded, sort of well-rounded. Between April 1st and April 5th, Venus, the planet of romance, is also in your 9th house. And she conjoins Neptune on the 3rd. And overall, she encourages you to expand your mind, to learn new things, to take classes. And you are likely doing that with your partner, where you're growing together. Or you are perhaps meeting someone once again in the 9th house sector. So there is even higher chance of like meeting them through education, travel, writing. They can be your editor if you're a book writer, or even like a lawyer, someone you meet through like a legal matter. Between April 5th and April 29th, we have Venus in Aries, your 10th house. Mercury is also retrograding in Aries in the 10th house. So on some level, you're very professionally oriented in April. But professional life, you know, we just had an eclipse in the house of home, family, living situation. So professional life and home life usually are very much reflective of one another and interconnected. So I think there's a lot changing in your home life with the eclipse we had on March 25th. Please let me know how it went. The eclipse on April 8th is changing your career life. And so all of this will definitely go and affect your romantic life. Like if you are moving, you are opening yourself up to a new living situation, to new places to go, new people to see, right? If your work is changing, you're maybe temporarily preoccupied with figuring out your work life and don't really have a lot of time for dating. So you need to make space for your partner, or maybe wait and like sort of figure out what you want before you take action romantically. So Venus, like I said, is in Aries between April 5th and April 29th. And Venus in Aries could be a sign that during this time, your partner is either really busy and working. It could also be a sign that you're attracted to ambitious people, very hardworking people, which is in general the case with you because your 7th house is Capricorn, let's be honest. You appreciate people who have that authority and can express themselves. But a lot of focus on work, a lot of potentially romance at work. If you're single, you can be kind of flirting with your boss or flirting with a colleague. You're maybe looking at people around you, people you partner up, people you work with through like a different lens. All the while that energy of like education, travel, foreign romance is still present because Mars, the ruler of your 5th house, is in the 9th house until April 30th. We get an interesting and important for you full moon in Scorpio, your 5th house, on April 23rd. And here there is a completion of a chapter in your personal life. Jupiter and Uranus just conjoined on the 20th of April in your 11th house. And you are exploring new dreams, you're meeting new people, and then your love life has to transform accordingly, right? So if we look at the new beginnings with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and we look at the full moon in your 5th house, I think it's almost like, how do your dreams fit with your romantic life? How does your social kind of desires and social ambitions, how do they fit with having a romantic life or having a child or dating in general? So I think the full moon in Scorpio in the 5th house, it is squaring Pluto in Aquarius in your 8th house, which is very much about like resources, time, energy, and you're having to examine a relationship you're in with this full moon and perhaps either let go of that relationship or transform it to a more serious level. And you're having to examine, I think, your overall relationship to pleasure and love and figure out how you can fit more of it, right? Like, or how can you prioritize love more, and how can you change, how can you like basically balance your desire for the like kind of big future, your aspirations with your romantic life and your desire to have kids potentially, because the full moon very much brings attention to children, to sex, to pleasure and romance, and asking like, well, do you have space for it in your life? And if you don't, maybe don't get stressed. But if you do, maybe you need to rearrange some things. Between April 29th and May 23rd, Venus will be in Taurus, your 11th house, and the partner is potentially coming to you through friendships, friends becoming lovers, starting a business with a partner, or starting some kind of group project or social media project with a partner is more likely. Maybe you start filming videos with your significant other. And if you're single, like I said, meeting people through parties, friendship gatherings, friends' weddings, some kind of networking event is more likely, and you will also feel like you're more charming in the social context, so it will feel easier to attract someone. And if you're already in a relationship, you will enjoy going on like double dates, maybe hanging out with your friends, maybe connecting with other couples will be fun. And if you want to know more, book a reading with me on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. On my website, you can also become a subscriber to receive monthly horoscopes emailed to you at the start of every month. They are unique to you, very personalized, and give you advice, include dates, and help you navigate the month to come. If you are the beautiful Leo rising, Pluto is in your 7th house. How has that been, right? Have you noticed Pluto shaking up your relationships or shaking up the life of your partner, maybe sort of affecting your relationship because they're dealing with something important or facing some kind of shadows? In general, you are the sun as a Leo rising, ruled by the sun. Your 7th house is Aquarius, so in traditional astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Your partner is Saturn, right? So the fact that Saturn is right now in your 8th house suggests that the partner is very focused on finances. Maybe they're handling their own financial matters. Maybe they're dealing with some kind of difficulties financially, right? Like paying a higher tax return or trying to sort of free themselves from some kind of past karma, right? That would go along also, I think, with Pluto being in your 7th house, Saturn in the 8th. Even though it's your 8th house, it could very much be affecting partners' finances. You, as the sun, are in Aries between April 1st and 19th. So you're interested in growth. You're maybe traveling. You're maybe expanding. You're maybe sort of exploring your own interests, exploring your own beliefs, maybe asking deep philosophical questions, learning something new. And then between April 19th and May 20th, your chart ruler will be in the 10th house of career, and it's actually going to be aspecting Saturn in May. So you're maybe connecting with your partner and coming to an agreement about something. But I think while your partner is very focused on these financial matters, you can be too. You're likely to also be focusing on your finances and paying off debts, especially with Venus being here and Mars being here. So there's like Venus is in your 8th house of debts and taxes and finances until April 5th, and Mars is here until April 30th. And Mars is conjoining Saturn, so there's a lot of action when it comes to money and resources. And so I think your relationships are affected accordingly, because if you are in this place right now where you're very focused on getting yourself together and getting your life organized and paying debts, maybe you're not even in the headspace of dating, or maybe you're trying to get your finances organized so you and your partner can take the next step, right? At the end of April, we get the full moon in Scorpio in your 4th house. Could this be the time you move in with your partner or make some important change when it comes to your relationship? But I'm jumping ahead. So like I said, the first about 20 days of the month, the sun is in Aries, your chart ruler in the 9th house. And then it goes from April 19th until May 20th, you will become a lot more professionally oriented. Venus spends a lot of time in Aries between April 5th and April 29th, which is your 9th house, which is also suggestive of meeting, being drawn to, being interested in people who are well-educated, well-rounded, broad-minded, well-traveled, right? So Venus in the 9th is very much the time if you're in a relationship, you're traveling with your partner, you're taking classes together, you're teaching them something, or they're teaching you something, you're sharing your interests with them. If you're single, you're more likely to meet someone foreign. Maybe it's someone from your past, because Mercury is also retrograde between the 1st and the 25th of April. So someone from the past can be reaching into your life, knocking on your window and being like, let's give it another try. Of course, be careful, exes and the retrograde is usually not the best idea, but I also get that sometimes we need closure. So sometimes it doesn't hurt to explore it again just so you can get the clarity you need. So Venus in the 9th, for those single ones, you can meet a partner by taking a class. You can meet a partner by going on a trip. You can meet a partner at some kind of like foreign language meetup maybe. Or like definitely you're more interested in people who can teach you things at this point. We also get the solar eclipse here in the 9th house. So a lot of focus on like knowledge, values, desires, philosophical like beliefs, belief system. And I think that will also affect the relationship if you're going through like an important transformation. And if the eclipse in the 9th house is suggesting that you're moving, or you're going back to school and that will temporarily change your finances, or you are, like kind of education, travel changes may be happening in your life that are affecting your love life as well. So between April like 20th, 22nd, the sun, your chart ruler in the 10th house, will square Pluto in the 7th house, and then the full moon is also actually the sun in the 10th opposite moon in the 4th and a square to Pluto in the 7th. So it's interesting because the sun is doing a lot, and the sun is you, and the sun is conjoining well, not the sun. The sun is in the house of career, and Jupiter is also conjoining Uranus in your house of career, and there is important breakthroughs. There's important developments, there is new opportunities, there are professional goals that you're exploring. And the fact that the sun around the same time is also squaring Pluto in the 7th, and the full moon in the 4th is squaring Pluto in the 7th, makes me wonder how does your vision for the future fit with your partner's goals? How does it fit with their challenges they're going through, right? Pluto in the 7th house. Are you on the same page? Do you need to reassess? Do you need to reassess your living situation when it comes to dating, when it comes to your relationship and your future goals? Do you need to compromise? Do you need to have an important conversation with your partner? Because these opportunities that the sun and Jupiter and Uranus bring can be very, very life-changing. Like, Jupiter rules growth and travel and expansion. You may get a job that requires you to travel a lot, but your partner is ready to start having children, right? So you may need to address some sort of shadows and make compromises and make adjustments. Both you and your partner may need to do that. Between April 29th and May 23rd, Venus is in Taurus, your 10th house, and you or your partner are working a lot. Maybe you're meeting a partner through your job and being also attracted to people who are like highly ambitious, go-getters, successful, people like that. If you want to know more, book a reading with me on my website, anastasia.astrology.com. You can also become a subscriber and get monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. A VIP subscription gives you in-person conversations, and the regular subscription gives you written horoscopes that are unique to your natal chart, and they break down the energies coming up for you personally. So definitely check that out. Moving on to the beautiful Virgo rising. So if you're a Virgo rising, there is a lot of action in your house of relationships this month. Saturn is obviously in your 7th house. Venus just conjoined Saturn on the 21st of March. Mars will conjoin Saturn on the 10th of April. So Saturn in general suggests that you are in this period, in this stage in life where your relationships have more weight to them. Whether it is because you are getting clear about what you want, you're saying no to people who are not deserving of you, or it could also be a suggestion that your partner is going through a bit more difficult time, right? Like Saturn in the 7th house is not always about you, it's about partner dealing with kind of struggles and you're asking very much, I think, how fair are things? Like, what is fair? What is realistic? How can you support your partner potentially? Like, what needs to be sacrificed, both for single people and for people in relationships? There's just like kind of heavier energy. Venus is in your 7th house until April 5th. She conjoins Neptune on the 3rd, and the first 5 days could feel maybe a little bit like smoother and romantic and easier because Venus really wants people to get along. But then Venus leaves and Mars stays. And things may get more aggravating, right? Whether if you're single, you're feeling extra lonely, extra frustrated, maybe having a lot on your plate and there's not a lot of time for dating. If you're in a relationship, your partner might be struggling a lot, or your relationship may be sort of facing some kind of roadblocks, right? Like Saturn in the 7th could be literal also some kind of separation, right? Like your partner is in a different country or they're in jail, which is too dramatic, right? But like Saturn comes together with Mars, bringing delays, frustrations, difficulties, all the while all of the energy is happening in your 8th house, right? And 8th house, and for some of you, maybe this could also, like, for some of you, it doesn't have to be like delays, frustrations. For some of you, it could also be about making things official, like a business partnership, signing contracts, right? Or getting married, and maybe the frustrations you're experiencing are connected to planning the wedding. So it's not even necessarily like really dark and difficult and dramatic, but it could also be about just like a lot on your plate and having to navigate a lot. So Aries house is active all month. Mercury is retrograding in the house of partners' resources, in the house of agreements, in the house of fairness. Venus is here. There's a solar eclipse here. So I think you are needing to talk things out, needing to face the shadows, needing to face the unpleasant things that you would rather not address, but you actually are kind of forced to be like, hey, let's draw a prenup. Hey, let's consult a lawyer. Let's figure out like what's fair. I feel like if you feel not heard, not seen, if you feel not acknowledged on some level, you are very much with this Aries brave energy in your 8th house. You feel more willing to speak up and to express yourself. And so if you're single, I wonder too if there is a need for more clarity, more healing, more sort of transforming things. The fact that your 7th house is Pisces and it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter, the ruler of your 7th house, will be conjoining Uranus on April 20th is also interesting. And of course, the fact that your ruler is retrograde is interesting because you're ruled by Mercury. Mercury is retrograde between April 1st and April 25th. And it could suggest that you're just not sure. Like there's a lot of things that you're not sure. You're not sure about your future, your decisions, your career maybe, because Mercury rules your career. So you're in this precarious place, right? But from like April 20th, the energy might shift. I like that Jupiter, the ruler of the 7th, conjoins Uranus in Taurus on the 9th. So if you're single, there could be sudden encounters, exciting new beginnings. You meet someone through school, you meet someone at your university, you meet them while traveling, you meet them while writing your book, writing your essay at a library, right? Or they're your astrologer, or you're traveling with your partner. Of course, there's also a potential for you or your partner getting exciting opportunities that involve travel, education, writing, publishing, and leveling up on some level. And then between April 29th and May 23rd, Venus is also in your 9th house, which is beautiful for going on a trip with your significant other, taking cooking classes or Kama Sutra classes together, right? Or meeting someone while traveling, meeting a foreigner, connecting with foreign people. And if you want to know more, book a reading with me on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can also pick up a subscription with me to get monthly horoscopes unique to your chart, specific to your natal planets and transits, sent to you at the start of every month. You can get written horoscope subscription, or you can get the VIP subscription, which is a face-to-face conversation, which also includes a written report, but has that personal touch. Now, if you are a Libra rising, you're definitely one of the stars this April, because we just had a lunar eclipse in your 1st house on March 25th. Your identity is changing. You're dropping your old skin. You're getting reborn. You're addressing and becoming more clear about what you want romantically, personally. You're taking better care of your health. You're addressing self-defeating tendencies. You're releasing a lot. You're shedding a lot, right? And all of the month of April, your 7th house is just lit up the entire month, no break. But before, like also early in the month, Venus, the first 5 days, she's in your 6th house. So maybe you're still dealing with some work matters, handling some health matters, taking care of yourself. Mars, the ruler of the house of relationships, is in the 6th house until April 30th. So that could suggest that your partner is also working really hard and sort of busy and occupied and problem solving, very much like in the work mode. It could also suggest, if you're single, that you're more likely to meet someone in April at your job, at the doctor's office, at the gym, doing errands, doing your laundry. Your partner, like I said, is in this place of just like go problem solving. So you're more likely to run into them while you're doing that. Your partner might also be going through a bit of a difficult time early in the month, because on April 10th and between April 5th and 15th, this energy is active. Mars the ruler of the house of relationships, is conjoining Saturn. So your partner is having to make some sacrifices, some adjustments. They have to look seriously at their life and their progress, and like, you know, get kind of organized. And they may be in a bit of a mood, they may be sort of struggling a little bit. And so the Aries energy that is active all month, with Mercury retrograde between the 1st and the 25th, is the time when you're having to navigate some difficulties in relationships. You're having to look at how you communicate in relationships, right? And this applies to both singles and those in relationships. If you're in a relationship, there may be certain things that need to be discussed. There may be a need to communicate with more fairness and directness and honesty, but also care and kindness. And on April 11th, you may experience some kind of breakthrough and important conversation, important realization here. For singles, exes, so many. There is very much a possibility that someone from your past can be coming into your life. Mercury retrograde in the 7th house. What a literal manifestation would that be? And if they do, please come back to this video. Please drop a comment down below. If it already started, I am curious, because Mercury is already in the shadow phase. It's slowing down. So a lot of focus on communication, a lot of focus on healing, a lot of focus on honesty. Venus is here between the 5th and the 29th of the month. Your chart ruler is in the house of relationships. You're all about relationships right now. But also making sure that you're not sacrificing yourself, right? And for some, especially since we get the solar eclipse in Aries on April 8th, the eclipse conjoins Chiron, the eclipse conjoins Mercury, retrograde, there's really a need to be honest. There's a need to have conversations that are direct, that are clear, that are compassionate. There's a need to release something or someone. Of course, breakups and relationship changes that happen during the retrograde do not always stick, because sometimes Mercury goes direct and you reconsider. But I think April will be very healing. It's not going to be always easy, but very healing, very important, and sort of no BS. Whether that means you no longer have any patience for your partner giving you excuses, or whether that means you're being honest with yourself and how your maybe competitive nature in relationships, or how your fears, how your workload, because Mars is in the 6th house ruling your 7th house, how your workload is affecting your life, right? For some, it may be not about relationships with others. It may be about relationship with yourself and needing to get that relationship sorted out and cleared, and needing to be happy within so that you can attract the right partner. April 20th brings a really positive transit. Let's not talk only about the difficulty. And that is the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in your 8th house. You start to feel it about 10 days before, it lasts 10 days after. And this is huge in terms of shared finances. It could suggest personal financial transformation, like winning a lottery or getting a major tax rebate, tax return. But 8th house represents partners' money. So I can also see this really benefiting your partner, like them getting a really big raise, them winning a lottery, them sort of going through some kind of important change and shift that then affects your relationship. Venus follows the sun, and on April 29th, it enters Taurus too. And between April 29th, May 23rd, she's in your house of other people's money. You are blessed with the support. Ask and you shall receive. Reach out to people, ask them for help. You are going to get it. And then between April 30th and June 9th, Mars, the ruler of your 7th house, is coming in the house of relationships. And it's like the partner is coming home. The partner is feeling more confident, more aligned, more secure. You're also more likely to meet people at this time who are very sort of strong leaders, people who have their own business, people who show up as some kind of like icon, idol. People look at them, people admire them. So very important kind of developments, and maybe you and your partner are taking on some kind of cause that you're fighting for together, or you are meeting them while being active too, because Mars in the 7th house, like you can go hiking, you can go exercising, boxing, and you're meeting them through that. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, become a subscriber on my website, anastasiaastrology.com. You can receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. They're written down and unique to your natal chart, helping you make sense of the transits and the energies above so that you can live your life to the fullest below. And there's also a VIP subscription, which includes a face-to-face conversation every month. Now, if you are a Scorpio rising, this is a really big month for you. Jupiter in your 7th house has been in your 7th house since last May, but this month it comes together with Uranus. So this month is really, really significant because it may bring major developments. So both of your romantic houses are quite active, right? Saturn is in the 5th house all year. Jupiter is in the 7th all year. Venus is in your 5th house of play, pleasure, children, improving your fertility, giving you better chances for attracting the right partner until April 5th. On the 3rd, she conjoins Neptune. Very magical. However, Venus conjoins Saturn on the 21st of March, and Mars will conjoin Saturn on the 10th of April. So while there are some opportunities for dating and there is a desire for like parenthood and maybe even creative fulfillment, but we're talking about love in this video, there's also some limitations that you have to deal with. For some of you, it will be a need to take better care of your health, right? Eclipses are activating your houses of mental health and your houses of physical health. So there may be a need to take better care of yourself so that you can become a parent indeed. For others, there might be a crazy workload you're working through. Maybe your partner is busy and it's harder to make time. So Saturn suggests that there are some delays, some restrictions. And so early in the month, especially when Mars conjoins Saturn between about like the 5th and the 15th of April, you are potentially running in some kind of into a roadblock. And so if you're single, this could be just like, another relationship falling through and things not working out. If you are in a relationship, it could be some kind of frustration, like you haven't gotten pregnant yet, or you disagree about something important maybe, right? Like you have sort of a big kind of confrontation and you feel like there is a wall or there's a separation between you. But then as the month goes on, the energy definitely improves. Also, the fact that Venus, the ruler of the house of relationships, is in the 6th house between April 5th and April 29th could also be suggestive that your partner is kind of very, very busy. They're working out, they're either them or you, right? Like there is just a lot of focus on like health and well-being and taking care of yourself. And if things are not going right they're not going the way you want them to go, it could actually be a pretty good idea to focus on your health and to focus on your wellness and to maybe dedicate some time to improving your life. Because I think it could be quite crucial with the eclipse on April 8th, with Mercury retrograding between the 1st and the 25th in your 6th house of health and wellness. The fact that the ruler is Mars in the 5th and you're really craving that romance, you're craving that creative fulfillment, you're craving parenthood, you're craving pleasure, but the eclipses and all the focus on the 6th house says that like you need to clear space, you need to declutter, you need to take better care of your health, you need to maybe even improve your work situation so that you can open space for new beginnings. But the good news is that energy starts to shift from about April 19th. Even before then, if you consider that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction starts to build from like April 10th and lasts until April 30th, but is exact on the 20th of the month. But from the 19th, energy starts to shift. The sun, the planet of consciousness and goals, goes into your house of relationships, offering new opportunities. Jupiter conjoins Uranus in the 7th house. This is really, really big. This could bring up pregnancy. This could bring a new relationship. This could bring like a super fast development in love, because Uranus is like lightning striking, right? So you meet someone and you fall in love instantaneously, and you decide to move in together 10 days in or something, or you get engaged, or you get married around this time. All of it is quite lovely and beautiful. Venus is also coming to Taurus between April 29th and May 23rd, and she will be blessing your house of romance. And the full moon in Scorpio on the 23rd, I think, is also quite significant, because it's squaring Pluto in your 4th house and opposes the sun in the 7th house. So some kind of important developments that include moving in with your partner, that include becoming a parent, changing your living situation, coming together. You're very much birthing something, right? There's like a lot of focus on birthing, on growing, on connecting in relationships, and then kind of moving forward in terms of your relationship to other people. And if you want to know more, become a subscriber on my website, anastasia.astrology.com, to receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. They are personalized, and they include a deep dive into your natal chart, helping you navigate the month to come. You can also get a VIP subscription, which is a face-to-face 30-minute conversation every month. Now let's talk about beautiful Sagittarius risings. You are Jupiter ruled. Jupiter is in the 6th house. So you are work oriented, right? This month is quite significant. On the 20th of the month, we're going to get the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. So there could be some big breakthroughs when it comes to your health, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your passions. I think you're very kind of focused on making your dreams come true. And that is, to me, coming across with the Aries activation. And Aries is your 5th house of pleasure. You're kind of very directed towards pleasure, towards love, towards parenthood this month. So your 7th house is Gemini, and that is Mercury ruled. And so your partner is very mercurial. So they're likely in general to be someone who's like very chatty, someone who's very like facts oriented, maybe knows a lot. So Mercury this month is in Aries, which is your 5th house. So the partner could be very kind of creative. Maybe they are exploring their inspiration. Maybe they're talking about children. Maybe they're spending time with children this month. The fact that Mercury is retrograde between the 1st and the 25th could very much affect your partner, could suggest that the partner is feeling a little bit uncertain, right? Something that where they feel unclear, maybe they're acting in a little bit of confusing way. You can't fully understand. Maybe they're going back on their promises. If you're single, Mercury being retrograde could also bring someone from the past into your life. And so the confusion romantically can be coming from that, either like, you know, the current partner acting confusing, or a past flame reaching out and being like, should we rekindle this? And then you're not quite sure, right? You're sort of questioning it. A lot of focus this month on your 5th house of romance and sex and pleasure. So for some of you, this could just mean that you're like opening yourself up to having fun and to casual dating. For others, this could mean that you're getting more clear about your desires and you're becoming kind of focused and very dedicated to speaking your mind, right? So, but I think the Mercury retrograde can definitely suggest that maybe the spark needs to be rediscovered. Maybe you and your partner need to have some honest conversations. Maybe you need to examine whether you want to have children and talk about children as well. Venus is entering your 5th house between April 5th and April 29th. Venus is in her joy in the 5th house, which could be beautiful for an easier time. You're gonna potentially have an easier time attracting people. You are likely to have kind of more fun and maybe just go about doing things that you like to do, and the people are just naturally drawn to your charm and to your energy. And then of course the solar eclipse in Aries on April 8th will be also very healing and very important in terms of having kind of big conversations. The eclipse in the 5th house could bring pregnancy, It could bring birth of a new relationship, kind of more. But I really feel like you're going to have to address something unpleasant, like have a conversation about something you don't really want to bring up. You may have to talk about children, you may have to talk about parenthood, you may have to talk about sex if there is something that you're not quite enjoying, or there's something you're craving that you haven't expressed, and you're getting ready to bring it up and to kind of lay all of your cards on the table and just be brutally honest. And then on April 29th and until May 23rd, Venus will enter your 6th house, and this could suggest that you and your partner are working on something together. Maybe you're finding more joy in doing laundry together and like paying bills and running errands. It could also suggest that you are more attracted to someone at your job. Your colleague may suddenly become more sparkly and more interesting. And then between April 30th and June 9th, Mars will also enter Aries, your 5th house, which could suggest that your sex drive gets a boost. And after you've cleared out all the drama, addressed all the challenges, you are now getting ready to just get to it and have fun and take action. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, you can become a subscriber on my website, anastasia.astrology.com, to receive your monthly horoscopes at the start of every month. They're written down and sent to you, and they look at your unique chart and give you guidance. You can also get a VIP subscription, which includes a 30-minute conversation with me every month. Now, if you are the lovely Capricorn rising, you are one of the main characters this month, because Jupiter, the planet of good luck, abundance, growth, and expansion, is about to conjoin Uranus in your 5th house of children, romance, and creativity. Now, a disclaimer for some of you, this will definitely going to be about finding pleasure in life, right? And finding pleasure in life is not always romance. So this could be a great opportunity to study, to start a new passion, to commit to something, to exercise, to fall in love with life, right? Because Taurus is about savoring life. But for others, the April 20th energy can very much bring new beginnings, like pregnancy, like new romance, like developments romantically where you and your partner are moving things forward and moving things along. So I think this is definitely you're gonna start to feel it a little bit like from the second half of the month. Early in the month, Venus is hanging out in your 3rd house until April 5th, which could suggest that you are finding pleasure in writing, exploring your creative passions, you are going on more dates in the neighborhood, or you're just dating a neighbor, maybe, or the neighbor can be kind of, people in the neighborhood can be extra attractive at this time. Maybe you're also dating a friend of a sibling or somebody you meet while doing your rounds at a local coffee shop, at a local library. Sort of your hangout spots can be more full of excitement. Mars is also in Pisces, so there's definitely more action. Mars is here until April 30th, so your schedule is busy, there's kind of more action, you're taking care of a lot of things, and I think on one hand, you're just busy with a lot of life things. On the other hand, romance can find you quite surprisingly and suddenly, as we know from what I said about Jupiter and Uranus conjunction. Between April 5th and April 29th, Venus is in Aries. There's also Mercury retrograde in Aries, so a lot of focus on your home, family living situation. So if we're talking about romance, right, maybe this is the time when you and your partner are figuring out where to move, where to live, how to figure out sort of your living situation together. If you're single, you are more likely to be meeting people right now that are from the same hometown with you. You're more likely to be meeting people at like house parties, at get-togethers of like friends, but it's more likely to be, kind of behind closed doors, some kind of party situation. And you're also, I think, a lot more either, once again, focused on improving your living situation, moving, and there's not a whole ton of time for dating early in the month, or you're just more driven to spend more time at home and kind of have romantic, cozy, beautiful nights in with your significant other. So April 20th is really lovely. Let me know how has Jupiter in the 5th house been. It went into your 5th house in May 2023. It is here until May 25th, 2024. It still gives you dating opportunities. It definitely suggests that there is more power to attract. Your thoughts create your reality of very much right now. So if you're thinking more negative thoughts, if you're focusing on your age or your living situation or your job or anything, and you're stopping yourself, don't do that, because right now the power of positive thinking is like extra strong. And so this, like I said, from like about April 20th, the energy starts to shift. Jupiter conjunct Uranus can bring like a very surprising positive development. Even in existing relationship, if you've been feeling like things are sort of struggling and uncertain and unclear, there could be that final sort of answer, solution, surprise, some kind of important development. And on April 29th, between April 29th and May 23rd, Venus will also be in Taurus, your 5th house. She rejoices in the 5th house. So Venus gives you more charm. She's very just sort of, I have arrived. She's not gonna chase, she's not gonna fight, she's just gonna look beautiful, make you look beautiful, and help you attract. It's also a very passionate period, and there's also a new moon coming your way in the 5th house in May. So very good for dating people who are creative, dating people who are fun, people who like have this passion for life and optimism. You're more likely to attract those. Very beautiful for like parenthood, fertility is increased, and anything that you find makes your heart beat faster is very much highlighted right now. And if you want to know more, book a reading with me on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, or become a subscriber on my website to receive monthly horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. You can also get a VIP subscription, which includes face-to-face 30-minute conversation at the start of every month. Now, if you are an Aquarius rising, there's a lot of developments personally, right? Pluto is in your 1st house. You are facing shadows. You are discovering power. You're addressing any sort of rigidity, frustrations, uncertainty in your life, and the relationships will follow, especially if your ascendant is like between 0 and 2 degrees Aquarius. Your descendant is exactly opposite. So chances are your relationships are already being shaken up, versus if your ascendant is like a 29 degrees Aquarius, 20 degrees Aquarius, you still have years to go before that sort of important energy. But I think there's definitely the true you, I think, is being born. The old you is being released. Any fears you have may be coming up, and any sort of questions of power, how you assert your power, whether you let other people make decisions, are very much important right now. As an Aquarius rising, you are Saturn ruled, and Saturn is in your 2nd house. Venus is in your 2nd house until the 5th of April. Mars is in your 2nd house until the 30th of April. So there's a lot of focus on money, and there's a lot of focus on values. On the 21st of April, Venus conjoins Saturn. On the 21st of March, Venus conjoins Saturn. And on the 5th of April, the dates. So Venus conjoined on March 21st. Mars conjoins Saturn on the 10th of April. But this is active between the 5th and the 15th of April. And you're having some kind of serious conversations about money. You're needing to get on the same page. You and your partner are maybe spending more. Maybe you've committed your money to a mortgage, and now things feel a little bit tight and it's creating frustration. So needing to have honest conversations, needing to address certain things and figure out better ways of spending money, sort of better kind of situation there. Even looking at your resources and being like, well, do I have the finances right now to date, right? Or is it the priority for me right now? Because for some of you, it might also be the chances are high that you're so focused on like work and improving your financial situation, you don't even have a ton of time to date. So perhaps, if you're in a relationship and things are feeling like you're just so focused on these practical concerns, perhaps it's best to try and figure out how to have some fun and schedule some time to just have a good time. Time to have a good time. So your partner is the sun as an Aquarius rising. Your 7th house is Leo. It's ruled by the sun. So the sun is in Aries between March 19th and April 19th. And this is the 3rd house. And so the partner might be writing more. They might have a busier schedule. They might be learning new things, sort of be out and about, take more short trips. The sun enters Taurus on April 19th and stays until May 20th. So that could be the sign that your partner is maybe dealing with some kind of home living situation, real estate matters. In general, Jupiter conjoins Uranus and Taurus this month on April 20th. And this is a big deal because this could be the opportunity to change your living situation. This could be an opportunity to pay out mortgage. This could be a chance to move in with your significant other, or to maybe have some of your roommates move out, so it's just the two of you. Or maybe you're like, maybe your family is helping you out financially. But like, it could definitely bring some kind of sudden, rapid development when it comes to your living situation, but also when it comes to like starting a family, being pregnant, having your significant other ask you to move in with them, or you asking them to move in with you. So kind of big developments when it comes to the living situation. At the same time, we have the full moon on April 23rd in the house of career, and then it's squaring Pluto in your 1st house. So I think you're also having to make some important kind of adjustments and try to figure out how your professional life works with your home life, and maybe transform something in the process and try to find a better balance. This is less relationship oriented, but it could of course be connected to a relationship if you're living together with your significant other and you're trying to figure out how to reach all of your professional goals while still having a good relationship. Venus will be in Aries in your 3rd house between April 5th and 29th. Mercury is retrograde here until the 25th of the month. So very kind of important right now for you to have honest conversations, to be direct. It's also a possibility that you're having fights or you're having disagreement in the relationship about neighbors, about siblings, about your schedule. So here we go again, like a need for better balance, right? A need for more kind of stability, agreement, and understanding. And first, you may need to uproot some things and discuss them. If you're single, this could be messages from exes. This could be people from your past coming into your life, like an old neighbor kind of sends you a message and asks you out. Venus in the 3rd house is a good time to date people in your neighborhood, to just also go out and do things that you enjoy doing, to let yourself be seen, and you never know who you may run into. So it could be quite a significant time, I think, for getting in touch with what you enjoy, getting in touch with what you want, and then communicating it honestly, and then your relationships transforming in the process. Very strong focus on like honest communication this month. And even if it's an ex, right, you still need to make sure you're maintaining your boundaries and maintaining your integrity when it comes to them. Venus enters Taurus, your 4th house, between April 29th and May 23rd. And there is even more focus on like growing your family, maybe having another kid, maybe buying a bigger home. So your love life can change in that aspect this month quite a lot. And even more so in May. If you want to know more, become a subscriber on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. And receive monthly horoscopes emailed to you at the start of every month. They're very detailed, they're written down and include guidance, good dates, challenging dates, very personal. You can also get a VIP subscription and get live face-to-face conversations with me every month. Now, if you are a Pisces rising, so April is important, right? April is big for your relationships, for your personal life, and for your finances. You are Jupiter in the third house partner is Mercury, because you are Jupiter ruled as a Pisces, traditionally is Jupiter ruled, and your seventh house is Virgo, Mercury ruled. So you are growing a lot this year in general, and Jupiter being in your third house suggests that your life is busier, you're learning a lot, you're traveling more, even if that means just like taking the subway or the bus or driving around more often. And you're definitely somehow like opening up, right? And you're also asking important questions. And there's a lot of focus on you as well. We had, Venus is in Pisces until April 5th, giving you extra charm, but she just conjoined Saturn on the 21st of March. And maybe you have felt more lonely, you have felt not quite happy. And so these important questions, they are pushing you forward. Mars is also going to be in your first house until April 30th, the entire month pretty much. Mars will conjoin Saturn on the 10th of April. So you're dealing with some kind of personal, it's very important for your growth right now, but it's not the easiest, I think, transformation, at least the first half of the month, because there is the retrograde and Saturn conjunctions and sort of delays and frustrations and maybe melancholy. So you're having to address a lot. And of course, this will affect your relationship, right? If you physically can't show up, or you don't have time, you don't have energy for your partner, maybe you need to rethink your priorities. Maybe you need to schedule some time for relationships, or you need to figure out what makes you happy so that later on you can be happy in a relationship. So I think as you address a lot of personal concerns, your relationships change, right? So it's almost like you have to take care of you so that you can be a better partner. And for some of you, maybe you're not even thinking about dating right now because life is just so overwhelming. There's so many duties and responsibilities. So for those of you in a relationship, Mercury is retrograding this month. Your partner is ruled by Mercury. And so the retrograde is between April 1st and April 25th, and it's happening in your second house. And this could suggest that your partner is feeling a little bit uncertain, that they're dealing maybe with some kind of financial concerns. Maybe they're paying off debts. Maybe they're hustling, trying to figure out how to make more money. It could suggest that you are needing to have important conversations about finances, about resources. You're needing to come to an agreement about something, right? We just had a lunar eclipse in your 8th house on March 25th. Questions of fairness, questions of dependencies, questions of different values may be coming up. And so with Mercury retrograding in the second house, if you're in an existing relationship, you're very much needing to do more balancing. You're needing to be honest and talk about priorities. And a lot of it could be connected to what you desire versus what your partner desires, or what you have to offer and what they have to offer. Maybe, in order to move forward, you need to figure out how you align, whether your future is on the same page. If you're single, Mercury being in the second house and Venus being in the second house between the 5th and the 29th of the month could suggest that you're more likely to meet someone at the bank, more likely to meet them doing financial operations. Maybe they're your accountant, or maybe they're giving you financial guidance. It can also suggest that you're becoming more interested in giving financial advice to people. But I think the energy shifts from like April 20th and Jupiter conjoins Uranus, your chart ruler conjoins this like breakthrough in communication. It could suggest meeting someone in the neighborhood. It could suggest moving a connection with a neighbor or like a friend of a sibling further potentially. And then Venus enters Taurus on April 29th, and until May 23rd, she will be in rulership. She will be in the third house of siblings, neighbors, community, communication, writing, publishing. So this could suggest that you're meeting people once again through siblings, in the neighborhood, at the local coffee shop, local library, at the just like out and about. Springtime is coming, birds are singing, and you're more likely to just like bump into someone who maybe even lives in the same building as you are, but you haven't seen them until now. Let me know how this resonates, and if you want to know more, book a reading with me or become a subscriber on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. I offer a couple of different types of subscriptions. You can get a monthly horoscope subscription and get written horoscopes sent to you at the start of every month. They're uniquely tailored to your chart and personalized. Or you can get a VIP subscription, which is face-to-face conversation. There's also a very basic subscription, and that is weekly emails that catch you up and keep you in the loop as far as astrology. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you're enjoying these videos. This is the third one in the Love Horoscope series. I feel like I'm still exploring how these are doing, how they are performing. But so far, you've given me really good feedback, and I think I'll keep doing them. And yeah, I hope everybody has a beautiful April. I hope eclipse season just brings more connection, more truth into your life, and helps you be aligned with yourself and with people in your life. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good eclipse season.